Go with the podcast. Welcome to Slamcast. It's not a podcast. It's the Slamcast on Retro on Limb. I am your host, Brandon Liggan, joined, as always, by my number two, Nick Horaceck.
Yep, I'm here.
You're here. We also have someone else here who's not right here right now, but he will be here very shortly. The erstwhile Michael Burhan. Broken Michael Burhan is in there.
Yes, I am broken, Jeff. I think that's how he does the accent. I will delete you, Brandon.
Delete!
By the way, I will point this out before I basically go and do what I have to do. When people sit there and go, oh my god, it's so avant-garde, it's so this, motherfuckers, they stole that from WCW. The final deletion is basically WCW vignettes.
It's Dungeon of Doom, but it's so much better now.
Exactly. It's bumped up by 1 million. And I think that we need to do basically a riff tracks of that. We should do riff tracks. We should do riff tracks that. But yeah, so, you know, and when people say,
I can't watch it without laughing. That's my thing. Like, I still to this day.
Well, the thing about that as well, though, and when people say WWE ripped off them, technically they ripped off the WWE because they own WCW's tape library. So there you go, ladies and gents. So technically, who's borrowing who? Huh?
Here's my theory, and I brought this up on the show, and I don't know if you listened last week, but I have this thing that's like, how long were the Hardys was that in their head? Like, how long were they pitching that? And just, at what point in time did either TNA say, okay, finally, yeah, or did just like Vince McMahon just said, no, you never do that.
The initial video looks like it was done by them, that the budget was like them.
We were doing stuff like this in Tony Fatu's backyard in 2007, just without drones.
But so I mean, it's like it was something that they did. You could tell the initial video they did themselves. This kind of vignette video that they did, where Jeff got his back hurt on a weird table that was sawn in half, and then
holographic.
They went in the other direction.
Holographic Matt Hardy.
TNA was just like, hey, we'll give you a bit of cash. Can you make it better? And they did that. And Matt made it like holographic freaking bloody drones and he's like
an evil genius. That's basically what he's
and a Mexican gardener.
He's Dr. Doom meets Lex Luthor meets the Joker.
Meets the guy on the circle willing to suck your dick for $5.
It's high art. We're still talking about it 2 weeks later, but we got so much more to talk about.
Enough about Brother Nero.
Brother Nero. We're going to delete that segment. But UFC 200 took place over the weekend.
Yep.
And if you watched it and you paid $60 for it, I apologize if you paid $60 for that, because that pay-per-view, I wouldn't say it was not worth the $60, but I would have felt slightly cheated if I paid $60 for that. I'm very glad we watched that.
I walked over to a bar or a little restaurant near where, because I was at a wedding reception. Slipped out for a bit, had something to eat, watched Brock Lesnar impose his will on another man, went back and proceeded to get wasted off my ass.
Right.
Enjoyed some other recreational things afterwards.
You saw the good part. You saw the good parts.
Yes.
If you sat through, I mean, I'm not saying that Cain Velasquez wasn't impressive in his fight, because, you know, congratulations to Cain. He looks like he's finally on the way back. Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo, I was sort of disappointed by. I thought I was going to see a little bit more fire from Aldo. There was fire. I mean, it is pre-Conor knockout Aldo, or pre-Conor fight Aldo. But Silva, I mean, I don't know what I expected from Silva Cormier. I mean, I don't know. Anderson Silva was basically in there for the paycheck, trying not to get hurt too badly, and you know, he did, and he did try and go for the fight, because I think he knew that if he tried to throw hands at Daniel Cormier, he had a distinct advantage in that department, and that was his really only chance of winning. But Daniel Cormier just showed the class of an Olympian level wrestler, and again asserted his will against probably the greatest fighter of all time. I think this is more of a swan song for Silva. I don't know what's next for him. I wouldn't even be surprised that if he hangs it up after this. And if he does, he will go down.
He will. I think he'll probably be doing a few more fights first before he hangs up the boots.
This is the beginning of the end, though. I think. I really do. I think we are entering the last 2 years of Anderson Silva's career. That is a clock that it.
No, I agree. Sorry, that's my cat. She decided to pick over a cup. But yeah, I agree with you.
Jerks.
Well, no, she's pregnant right now, so she's highly running around causing mess.
She's very.
And she's kind of fat at the moment. So yeah, no, she's going to give birth apparently next week. So I'm going to be staying home with her next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to segue from wrestling, if you want, just basically give me.
If you want cats.
And give a shout to Misty the cat. So there you go.
The official Slamcast cat.
Yeah, she is the official Slamcast cat who probably wants to stand up. There you go.
Oh, there you go. I don't name my cat Lily as it because I'm separated from my cat, which we'll talk about.
Segueing back to the UFC. I believe he's got a couple of more fights left in him, depending on how it goes. There is speculation that he'll probably because I believe Dana White is in a very good position because they sold the company off for $4 billion.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. But he basically, what he's done is he set up some awesome fight cards, and it's into this perspective why he actually introduced CM Punk to the UFC audience. And it's more per se to give that drawing power. I believe the buying of the company, the buyout, was all set up probably years in advance. So
it was probably something that we'll talk about that later. But it was probably something
they wanted to increase their portfolio. In a sense, really amazing with this fight card is they showed what they could put out there, and best way to do it by bringing the world's biggest UFC draw to pay-per-view.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is going to schedule to make $8 million for basically what is an easy night's work for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar looked in amazing shape against Mark Hunt. Did not at any point in time to be threatened by Mark Hunt, and I think Mark Hunt realized. Yeah, I think Mark Hunt realized that he was facing a different class of athlete when he couldn't hit Brock Lesnar. Whatever.
He's one of those guys. He's probably not the best UFC fighter out there, but he can.
He's special. He can
mess shit up. He's got his fists. If anyone's actually even seen his fists are the size of fucking hammers.
They have triple XL gloves. They have to make gloves especially for Brock Lesnar. They don't make triple XL.
He's huge. His fists completely and utterly huge. And this is the thing what people don't get, right? They don't understand that this dude is a beast. And the whole thing about Hunt saying he was juicing, I agree. He probably was juicing.
I know. We've seen UFC has very strict testing policy. So as soon as he was, they would have been able to test.
Waived? Yeah, they waived it.
I don't think they could have. Or I think Mark Hunt probably took a little bit. If they did, they paid off Mark Hunt.
No, they waived Brock Lesnar's testing rights. They actually said it in a statement that they waived his testing, so he wouldn't have to be tested for the fight because they alluded to the fact that he always gets tested by the WWE, which I think is utter bullshit. I don't believe Brock Lesnar works on the days that they decide to test people. That's me. But at the same level, you can see his build and the fact that this dude is super strong and super huge. Most people don't understand. Steroids don't make you strong. Steroids makes you retain water and makes you big. You have to put in the work to make yourself huge and have that muscle and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Lesnar is just... He looks like he can kill a goat on his own with his bare hands.
He's always looked like that, though. There's no point in time has he ever looked significantly bigger. He's always been that jacked.
I have to admit, if you look at his time prior to leaving the WWE and his time now, he's not really looked that jacked. He's leaned himself.
Exactly. At the end of his WWE run, he might have not been as cut as he was, but has always been that big. I don't believe it. It looks like the same guy I've always seen. And even he went through the NFL too. The NFL, I mean, look, man, Brock is the real deal, and we showed it. And
don't even go on about NFL's testing policies. Right. NFL testing policies makes the WWE look like freaking clean house.
Yeah, no, sorry, I caught myself. I
like that. The NFL. I mean, yeah.
I realized when Brock Lesnar was in the NFL too before the HGH, and yeah. So yeah, no.
Yeah, foot. This is mouth.
Yeah, sorry. I caught myself. Look, Brock Lesnar looked the real deal Saturday night against Mark Hunt. I don't think we saw the last of Brock Lesnar in the cage. I think he's like, all right, Uncle Vince, when can I go play with Uncle Dana?
The thing is, it's a good, like, again, it was best for business. I hate to use a WWE term on that one, but it was best for business because Brock, basically, they knew he was going to draw the numbers. They knew he was going to set up the crowds. So he was a guy that they can warrant paying $8 million to. And it's a freaking huge, huge payday for any UFC wrestler.
It was the biggest. Right? It was the UFC payday in UFC history. Biggest payday in UFC history. $8.5 million. 4 times what Conor McGregor makes.
But that's the thing. I would love to go and do a UFC fight just for the fact that I could receive a $2 million payday.
Enough. But see, the two. It's not. They didn't pay him $8 million just for showing up. It was a base salary and then bonuses that he met, win bonuses, and then pay-per-view buy bonuses that he negotiated into his contract because he's Brock fucking Lesnar.
Exactly.
He's a big draw.
And you know what the great thing about it is? And this is the thing that makes me laugh in comparison to WWE TV as to where he is in the UFC. In the WWE TV, he needs his due, right? In the UFC, Brock Lesnar...
He's the best thing that they have on the microphone. And it's him and McGregor. As far as promos wise, like
in WWE, the Jews got to eat.
The Jews got to eat too.
But that's the thing, and I always wondered why they didn't actually introduce managers into the UFC.
Well, because
that'd be great having someone cut a promo.
I mean, they have managers in the sense that there's coaching camps and stuff like that. So like I think Greg Jackson is like a UFC manager. Like he has his guys. So it's kind of like divided up into fight camps and coaches and stuff like that. But never in the sense of the pro wrestling manager coming out and cutting promos for you and stuff like that. I was surprised that it was reported that they were going to use the WWE theme on it, but I guess that was apparently, from what I hear, was a last-minute decision to go with Enter Sandman. Much to my...
That's a weird thing, because I enjoy it, but at the same level, I think, if they used his WWE theme...
It would have been the trifecta of the thing, because not only did you get one WWE advertisement when they advertised SummerSlam and him facing Randy Orton, but then you got a WWE 2K17 commercial on top of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would have been the trifecta right there. Brock Lesnar coming out to his WWE theme with Paul Heyman. Yes. Paul Heyman interrupting Bruce Buffer. That would have been, but no, it's the UFC was going to take things.
I was very surprised that Heyman had nothing to do with any of it at all. That Heyman wasn't even a part of it.
He was watching his friend fight. What is he going to do? What does he have to do to Brock Lesnar? Like he's not going to do anything.
That's the thing. You'd expect him to actually be like maybe even walking him to the ring or anything like that.
Nope. Because he's got his camp. The NS Nevada State Athletic Commission is very, very strict on who is allowed to come out with fighters and stuff like that. And especially in MMA, like in boxing, they give it a little more leeway because a little more spectacle. But in MMA, they can only be you can have few people with you, but it's limited to just the corner, man. So
it's a shame because I think it would have added the extra
the extra spectacle. It would have added that. I wholly agree. Did you drop out? Somebody dropped out.
Actually, it's positive.
Do you
guys remember the promo he said?
Sorry, I was dropping. I was cutting out there. I don't know if you got all that.
Do you remember the promo that Brock Lesnar basically said that night after he defeated Mark Hunt?
I did. You know, he gave his "if I can change, you can change, we all can change" speech.
Yes.
Here's his Rocky moment.
Yep.
But I like it. I think, with Brock Lesnar, he's one of those guys where, in terms of being an athlete, he knows what he's good at, and he knows how to negotiate a good buy rate for himself. He knows what he's worth.
And it is the same thing in terms of that fight. He knew what he was good at. He knew he had to, in order to beat Mark Hunt, he had to wrestle Mark Hunt down to the ground and pound it. And hats off to Mark Hunt. He withstood everything Brock Lesnar could throw at him, and same thing with Mark Hunt. But he kind of knew as soon as that fight was over with that, he was not going to be declared the winner, and it was a unanimous decision for Brock Lesnar.
But that's the thing, and I think Hunt was a guy. I didn't think Lesnar was going to actually beat him because there's Hunt away, but Brock took it seriously, man. He went in there for the fucking kill.
Well, I didn't. Again, Cage Rust was when we did our preview. Cage Rust was going to say the biggest thing that I said Brock Lesnar was going to be his problem, and the fact that he could face somebody with dynamite, one-punch knockout power at any point in time. And especially a guy late in fights with a granite chin who could just absorb damage and walk through anything. On the cards, it was the perfect matchup for Brock because that's when what was the strike against Brock is his ability to take a punch. Sometimes.
So that's the thing. Brock's one of those guys he is, in terms of anything out there, he is probably the most physically gifted athlete, and then you put gear in him, it probably makes him a bit more dangerous.
Look, I think you put Brock Lesnar on anything. It's Brock Lesnar's world. We just live in it.
Yes, and, you did what Brock does best. He imposes will on another man. I mean, he was fast. Like this is a guy that has to cut weight to get 265.
And he was still, both of these guys is 265. So I think Hunt was going in there expecting Brock to not be as fast as him, and he was able to hit those shots. And it takes Mark Hunt so long to wind up to hit those shots that Brock was just out of range before the big bomb could even come. So
yeah. And it was just, there was nothing Mark Hunt could do. He was
exactly. At no time did Brock Lesnar look under threat to losing.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple points where it looked like that fight could have stopped too.
Yeah, well, I think they just kind of let it go because Hunt certainly has that reputation where, he's just laying there. I mean, yeah, there was times when he was just laying on him, and was he actually defending himself? I would have stopped it at the end because that's literally what was happening at the end. Mark Hunt was not defending himself and just called it right there, but didn't happen. They let it go. That argument goes both ways sometimes. Like, oh, let the fight go, stop the fight. That's all up to the referee. It's going to be interesting to see going forward. Brock Lesnar is not done in UFC. I knew it wasn't going to happen during the fight, but after the post-fight stuff, that's when I wanted the Randy Orton RKO. That's when I wanted Orton to come out of nowhere.
Well, Orton's going to be doing the highlight reel with Jericho on Battlegrounds, so looks like the gift of Jericho might get a gift from out of nowhere.
I guess.
I could see why that the UFC didn't want to do that, and I think they didn't want to put the spectacle in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that would have been too much, but that's just me being the professional wrestling market. I would have pushed for it. It's like, so Dana. Orton. After the fight. If I'm Vince McMahon, I'm at least considering it. Or Triple H, I'm at least considering asking for that. So that fight wasn't the only surprise of the night. We saw possibly the second biggest upset in women's bantamweight division history, where Amanda Nunes is now your new UFC women's bantamweight champion. After completely, she hit Miesha Tate early and often, and it was over with in a matter of time. I feel bad for Miesha Tate because this is a woman who, if not for Ronda Rousey, is the face of women's MMA. It's her and Kat Zingano and Gina Carano if she didn't transition to movies. But if not for Ronda Rousey, Tate is the absolute face of the sport. So she was finally getting her moment. I thought maybe she could overcome the young contender, but Amanda Nunes was fierce and hungry, and you just see what happens when a Brazilian gets mad. And Brazil went all of 2 days because Dos Anjos dropped the title the night before, or 2 nights before. So Brazil was all of 2 days without a champion. Now they have 2 champions, technically. Well, 1.5 champions. I'll count Aldo as a half a champion. So, yeah. Where does this rank in upsets? I mean, this is obviously not as big as Ronda losing to Holly Holm. But, I mean, I think this is a pretty big upset as far as women's MMA goes. Maybe the second biggest upset of all time. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, if it was for Ronda and Holly Holm, definitely.
And speaking of the queen of women's MMA, I don't know if it's been officially announced, but rumors around the campfire is that if she wants it, Ronda Rousey gets the first crack at Amanda Nunes, and it might take place at UFC 205 in Madison Square Garden. That's what I'm hearing is the rumor that they want that fight for UFC 205. I'm also hearing and reading on the internet that Aldo Murger 2 featherweight unification fight is going to take place also at UFC 205 at MSG. And if this is true, I mean, this will be the biggest fight card of the year, I think. And I think it has to be. Who knows, man? Let's keep our ears to the ground. But if you remember, you heard it here first. Last UFC 2, McGregor, Aldo 2, Holly Holm. I mean, Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes. I mean, there you go. That's a card right there. Shut up and take my money. I want to go. I could go.
Yeah, speaking of shut up and take my money, there's a NXT Collector's Edition for 2K17.
You saw that? The Finn figure? Yeah.
The Finn figure. There's the Goldberg pre-order, the exclusive canvas lithographs autographed by NXT superstar Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, buddy. I know. I want it. I want it. Give it to me. I want it.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess I know what I'm pre-ordering this week.
And that's basically confirmation that Nakamura is going to be in 2K17. Right? Yeah, right?
Pretty much, yeah. He debuted early, and I'm like, yeah, we can get him in there. It might be DLC, but I like it. I love it. I fucking shut up and take my goddamn money.
Yeah, please. Speaking of Nakamura, I mean, we don't want to talk about spoilers, but apparently him and Finn Balor had a match. I haven't seen it yet. That's why we're not going to talk about it yet. Burhan, if you're going to see it, if you saw it, please hold your peace. I have not seen it.
I haven't seen this match, so I'm going to go in kind of a Nakamura versus Balor.
Yeah, it's gonna be a match to see. Apparently, last night was a big wrestling night. What with Lucha Underground,
week 2 of Ultimate Lucha 2, which I still need to watch, and the opening of the Cruiserweight Classic.
It's featuring Kota Ibushi.
Professor Kota Ibushi.
Professor Kota Ibushi.
Oh man.
Yeah, Professor. I only saw like a snippet of the match that the Professor had, and there was a not anything that the Professor himself was involved in, but the Professor's opponent nearly died. But I did also see a thing for it where possibly Ibushi gives the greatest codebreaker sell of all time.
Yes, saw that.
That was the best.
I love the way they've treated this as a legitimate sport. Because they have the guys meet in the center of the ring. It was like, oh, you've given your instructions in the back, blah, 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 blah. Any questions? Shake hands. Sometimes they'll shake hands. Sometimes, like, I think it was Arya.
It's their version of Ring of Honor. It's what it is.
Yes, it's like, okay, this is something. And then Marlon Ronaldo and Daniel Bryan on commentary. Oh, God, I love it. It's such a stark contrast to the main roster.
I'm going to give it a chance. I didn't want to watch it while with the load of network traffic that would be on it and have to deal with a patchy stream, but
yeah, I was I kind of wait. I was on my I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy X yesterday, so
I see that. That's okay. I'm in a game hole myself. But we'll talk about that later. But over the weekend, we didn't mention it though, by the way, going back to it, UFC was sold this weekend for $4 billion by IMG and the William Morris Group, and a bunch of other, smaller companies that committed capital, including Kraft. And if you follow the financial things, you'll know all the firms and involved. But this is the largest acquisition probably in modern sports history, because now we're going to see UFC run like an actual business. I think that now if they're buying this for $4 billion, I think it's no longer going to be, the Fertitta brothers, playground anymore. It's going to be, there's going to be some transparency coming down in fight rankings, and especially in the way the business dealings are doing. And I think it's only going to get better for the fighters involved, because, again, if the company sold for $4 billion, I think some of that money should trickle down to your talent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it did, but if it didn't, man, I think they need to set up some sort of fund, because that's enough money, more than enough money, to spread around to where, some guys can get a pretty decent paycheck. And especially in UFC, where where some of the, lowest ranking guys barely get by and barely scrape by and are literally doing this to survive. This that small amount of money could make a difference. I'm just saying, you guys are $4 billion. Take care of the people that gave you that $4 billion. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess they're
going to keep Dana White on as just the face of the company, but I think Dana White will have new bosses in Ari Emanuel, a.k.a. Ari Gold, a.k.a. the real life inspiration for my character.
Nice!
Yeah, that's what Brandon Gold was, a shameless ripoff of Ari Gold, Bobby Heenan, an amalgamation of everything that I've ever seen on TV, and myself turned up to 11.
Awesome.
But, so Ari Emanuel and his IMG company and the William Morris Group now own UFC. We've seen this before. I think it's now official. UFC athletes are now officially professional athletes. They can no longer be viewed as just these abhorrent freak sideshow performers. This is now a legitimate sport with a legitimate, force behind it.
Yes, these aren't human cockfighters anymore.
Yeah, it's
John
not.
McCain, you asshole.
Well, I think even John McCain we've even seen people, look, money talks, man. Like, we've seen John McCain do a complete 360 on it too, because John McCain in an interview said, if I was alive if I was 60 years younger, I would give it a shot. Or 80 years younger, however fucking old John McCain is. Anyway.
Yep. And, it's a shame it took this long for it to be legal.
Well, that whole other issue entirely that we talked about ad nauseum on several podcasts.
Yes. But yeah, I'm just, it's a, it should be a good thing for all people around. Dana White's still going to be the figurehead. I think he's still the guy.
He's the most visible person of the company, and he is the outside of the people in the ring, he is the most visible face in the company. So yeah, you do have to keep him around in that capacity. And because he was a stakeholder in the company, he did make a pretty sizable portion of money off the sale. So
you mean a buttload, right?
It's good to be Dana White. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, it is.
Good to be Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Joe Silva, the people from Dubai that came in and bought the UFC. It's very, very good time. Very good time.
Awesome.
So back to the world of professional wrestling. Yes. Before we wrap it up, we now have officially know who's going to be in charge of what, and this really shouldn't be that big of a surprise to anybody. But Shane McMahon will be in charge of SmackDown, and Stephanie McMahon will be in charge of Monday Night Raw. Nobody has any thoughts about that?
It was kind of anticlimactic, but they're in the sense of COOs.
Just like that announcement. Very anticlimactic because it was what everybody thought it was going to be all along.
Yeah, but they're going to be the COOs, and then they're going to pick their own general managers, which is going to be no surprise to anybody. Everyone on Raw is going to have to play the game, and SmackDown's going to be the yes movement.
I mean, they're setting it up perfectly to have heel face shows, even too. Like, the people that are on Raw are going to be, like, stuck in hell, and they're just going to try and, make it work against Authority version 2.0. You know what, though? I'm intrigued to watch it because that McMahon promo at the end of Raw, which was probably the highlight of Raw to me because I thought Raw was, again... suffered from...
Yeah, there were no goofy food fights with Kevin Owens sitting under a table eating a bag of chips. There was a little beat-up John Cena, but...
Yes, again, a good promo from the Bullet Club. Not a bad match from...
I love that promo, that beat-up John Cena promo. One of my favorites.
Yeah, no, this is...
Carl Anderson, hot Asian wife.
Carl Anderson, his hot Asian wife.
What am I going to do? I'm going to go bag my hot Asian wife and beat up John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's fucking fantastic.
Again, I like to say I told you so, but Carl Anderson, I told you so, guys. I told you, just bring him to WWE with the Bullet Club, and a star will be born. And am I wrong?
Oh, you're not fucking wrong at all, man.
I'm not wrong. We did get a couple good matches. Cesaro had another great match with Sami Zayn, was it? I can't even remember. It was a great match, but I forgot it. This is why Raw, I think, is going to suffer against SmackDown. And SmackDown is going to be viewed as the better show because it's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be easier to watch. It's going to be quicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at back in the day when the original brand split. Guess what the A show ended up being? SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Fatu already said that based off without anybody drafted to SmackDown, he said he would rather watch SmackDown or Monday Night Raw with Shane McMahon on board. Like that goes to show you right there. If you could win over a hardcore wrestler,
SmackDown's always been, for me, like the A show. When Heyman took over, it was the A show, and Stephanie was the person in charge. It was the A show, and
I always viewed Monday Night Raw as the A show, because it is the flagship program of.
Which is true, but back when that brand split was going on, you had the SmackDown 6, Edge, Mysterio, Benoit, Angle. It was like you had this combination of guys, and then you had up-and-comers like John Cena. You had Brock Lesnar. You had the Big Show. You had you had the cruiserweights. Tajiri, who's in this cruiserweight classic. It really was the better fucking show. And then Raw, what do you have? Triple H.
The Reign of Terror.
Yes.
Yep. Which, I don't know.
Well, which I would say that anytime Triple H did lose the title, it was a big deal.
Yes, exactly. It made that person who... We'll argue what was better. I was always a Reign of Terror guy because I'm a Triple H guy, but we'll digress. But it's...
That's another whole argument.
That's another whole podcast. But all right, as we already did one draft episode.
Yep.
So we're not going to go into depths of another draft episode. But what I want everybody to think about, pause. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to name first 4 draft picks. It means 2 each. First 4, and I'm not going to say where they're going to go. I'm just saying the first 4 people off the board, regardless of where they go. Okay? Got it?
Yep.
Got it? Okay.
Yep.
My first 4, in no particular order, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, Roman Reigns. First 4 off the board. There you go.
Okay.
Nick, why don't you go next?
Okay, it's going to be Rollins, Ambrose, AJ Styles, and John Cena.
Okay. Burhan, what do you say? First 4 off the board.
Ambrose, Rollins, AJ Styles, and John Cena.
Okay, you're agreeing.
Yeah.
You think Roman Reigns' stock has gone down that much where he's going to slip out of the top 4?
I think so.
Are more, they want to push him, They want to push him. But I think the crowd themselves are going to boo him even more for this because it's like special treatment Roman now.
I don't think
no matter how they try.
I mean, like, the only special treatment, they didn't drop him on spot because he's a part of a major angle.
But it's not just that. They allowed him to keep going despite that.
Because it's part of a major angle. They can't just... It would have been weird if they just dropped it and ended it right in there.
I mean, he's a champion.
They could have... Look, they acknowledged the fact that he was suspended.
Hit him with a car? Like, what were they going to do? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, what they did
it happened with Austin. You can sit there and go, no, that you don't want to do that, but then it's like, for me, I know my opinion in terms of Roman Reigns, his stock has gone down for me. But anyone else could be different. Depends how the fans see it. But in terms of WWE and the way that they're trying to oversell the guy, despite the fact they really haven't, he's really kind of gotten away with it. If it weren't for you kids, it makes me, for me, it would make me feel salty. I think for anybody in backstage, it'd probably make them feel salty too. That's me.
That's true. All right. Well, that has been this edition of Slamcast. We pretty much hit everything we want. Hit all the beats we want to talk about, I think. The draft is this Tuesday. WWE becomes appointment viewing again after Tuesday. So be sure to check that out.
Yep.
I'm going to do Iron Sheik to the week. Iron Sheik tweet
of the week.
And Intelligent Jew update, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Will we see? Who knows?
Him, I talked to him. I want to know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker. Fucking bullshit! Bullshit, Hulk Hogan. I'm the rare all-American gold medal.
So, all right, here's Iron. We have no Intelligent Jew update this week, but Iron Sheik did have a hot take on the latest craze that's sweeping the nation, Pokemon Go. And I think Iron Sheik has a fundamental misunderstanding as to what Pokemon Go is. Because Iron Sheik says this, fuck the Pokemon! I break his back and make him humble. Targeting a specific Pokemon, or if you refer to Pokemon universally, entirely in general, in the masculine form. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fucking bullshit!
Fucking bullshit!
Yeah, there we go. There's our podcast. Nice and short and sweet, and yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
Sound and teleport. There you go. There you go. It's been so long, I'm making the bad jokes. I'm Bad Joke Burhan. All right, so Burhan, you want to plug yourself?
I'm doing nothing at the moment, fellas. We've got I Got Gameplay this Saturday. We're going to be recording another episode of myself, Xander Scully, and Anthony Fernandez. That'll be uploaded onto the Retro Unlim website, so go to www.retrounlim.com. I basically itching projects at the moment. If Dwayne The Rock Johnson listens to this podcast, which I doubt it, please get in touch with me, good sir. I would love to talk to you.
Somebody listens to this podcast because some of my ideas have ended up on this show. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's Vince and Co., please pay us for our ideas. Come on. And
Just give me a job. Just give me a job. That's all I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Please, can I be gainfully employed?
It's not hard. So yeah, do that for us. And pretty much that's it from me. Ladies and gents, 2016 has been a very bad year for me. But it's going to get better. Things can only get better. So you'll be looking out to see more from me eventually.
It can't get any worse.
It can't keep a good Burhan down, as they say.
It can't get any worse.
The only other way it would get worse is if someone actually shot me. And now I'm fearing for my life.
Fuck. Jesus. I don't
That's
know.
what she
Whatever.
said.
Yeah, buddy. So, Nick.
Anyway, I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187, Twitter Gaming Pegasus 187, Facebook Nick Horaceck, Wrestling/MMA Revolutions, the Facebook group.
It's another place you can find this podcast, by the way.
Yep. Someone shared the 2K17 NXT Collector's Edition trailer in there, so shut up and take my fucking money. Xbox Live, Instagram, Wii U, Pegasus 187. PSN The Extreme Enigma. I've been playing the shit out of Final Fantasy X because I decided to buy that on the PS4, and I've also been playing UFC 2, and just I've been enjoying the fuck out of my PS4 since I bought it a couple months ago. So
it's a great system.
Yep. I'm gonna get out of here. I think I'm gonna go pre-order 2K17. I'm gonna watch the Eric Bischoff Blu-ray.
Awesome.
Yes.
So if you like this podcast, you can follow me on Twitter at Abraham and All Hope. You can listen to my other podcasts, The Nerd Chronicles, at SoundCloud.com or Facebook.com/The Nerd Chronicles. Yeah, man, go listen to it. Three Boys, a Goat, and Dancing Bear. That's my Game of Thrones podcast. That's not ending, if you wouldn't believe. We're doing more of that eventually. Commentary tracks coming to follow in the long winter, in the long absence of Game of Thrones. I'll be doing Nerd Chronicles Twitch channel as well, Twitch TV/Nerd Chronicles. I'm finally getting a steady stream going. I've done 2 this week already. Might go for 3 this week because it's looking like I won't be able to do anything outside. So go check us out, Twitch TV, The Nerd Chronicles. Go support independent wrestling. This Saturday I will be at Ace Pro Wrestling for their Overdrive taping. So aceprowrestling.com, 67 Hathaway Street, Wallington, New Jersey. If you're in the greater New Jersey area and this is uploaded before Saturday, go check that out. It's only $10. You could watch some great local wrestling. TJ Marconi's going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there. I could recite names, but I don't know exactly who's going to be there right now. I know I might be there, probably. Go support independent wrestling because I guarantee you, like Ace Pro Wrestling, no matter where you live, there is a local promotion, people with a dream and spandex in a wrestling ring and just trying to do their thing. So if you want a nice, inexpensive way of family entertainment and you enjoy professional wrestling and you think your kids are going to enjoy professional wrestling, that is the best way to get kids into the sport. Don't take them to the big shows right off the bat. Take them to the local shows and see if they like it, and then go from there. Support independent wrestling. That's it. So for Michael Burhan, for Check, I'm Brendan Liggan saying go forth and spread beauty and light. And it's 420, ending the podcast right on 420. Pow.
Beautiful.
Exactly.